So, the workplace is filled with a lot of different types of people. But today, I want to tell you guys about something that's kind of happened to me, and bro, like, it was absolutely kind of BS. So, there was this dude that was like working with me in a position that I was being cross traded called UTR, right? This guy, like, seemed like all friendly and shit. Like, this kid was really young too. Like, he was 18 years old. And he was fine for about an hour. We were just talking, being friendly and stuff. And he mentions that he was gay, right? And there's nothing really wrong with it. But like, oh my god, this dude got creepy really quick. Like I remember, like we were just talking, being friendly, and then like we go to the bathroom, right, just to talk. And then he literally shows me a text message on his phone saying that like he could give me some head in the fucking bathroom and shit. And yeah, obviously it made me a little uncomfortable, and I thought that shit was weird. So, I took that dude to HR, and yeah. But I want to talk about how you could all deal with this type of situation and how not to put up with it. So, if you're having some weird ass dude hit on you or do something weird to you, obviously, like, try to contact, like, HR as soon as possible. Like, as soon as it happens. My mistake was I waited way too long. I waited like 3 days because I really didn't even understand what the fuck even happened, to be honest. But it was also my Friday, so it was my 3 days off. So my first day back, I just went ahead and reported it because this situation happened in a swing shift on my end where you have to work like different managers and stuff from 3 to 6 p.m. until the night shift comes over. So I didn't really understand what the fuck really happened until, the next day. But I'm glad I made the decision because they made you write down every detail, everything as soon as possible. And then hopefully they'll fire the dude, like you better pray that these motherfuckers like do something and they fire him. Unfortunately at my workplace, a lot of these claims about sexual harassment or anything with weird coworkers unfortunately doesn't go as noticed as often as it should, but there's a lot of people that have told me stories about this at other places or other warehouses they work at because sometimes I still hear from other coworkers and friends from other warehouses that still talk about how like their fucking, reports get ignored, which is absolutely bizarre. But yeah, it's not a good thing to like have that type of workplace where they do that. But as long as you're persistent about it, obviously they will listen to you as long as you're serious. And sometimes if they know what type of character you are too, because unfortunately a lot of these type of people will try to report this shit when it's false. Also, another thing too is obviously tell the manager if you can, because there's some times where there's some managers don't even know about the situation. So sometimes you gotta tell different managers and kind of spread the word of what happened. Because it happened to me a couple times already where they try to work me in the same spot during that same like period as this dude, but obviously I told them what happened. They separated me, they listened to me, and they respected it, which is great. So yeah, just try to be very transparent with that because at a place like Amazon or whatever warehouse, the communication is honestly really bad. They don't really talk to each other properly ever. So you have to really be transparent with every single one fucking higher up. It can be annoying, but it's very important. And the last thing is like, do not escalate the situation. Like don't start the fight with a dude and whatnot while like this place is doing their investigation. Now, if something doesn't happen, just report them again and just keep being persistent, like I said. But other than that, dude, there's nothing much you could do. But the good thing is, for the most part, is a lot of these jobs react really quickly and they get this shit underhand right away pretty soon and pretty quick as well. Now, I don't know exactly why someone like this would like think that this was okay, because what was crazy too was this guy was like a brand new hire, went through all the training, and obviously during that training they actually go through that like section about how sexual harassment is not okay. I guess this dude was like a sociopath or something, because like it was crazy that he went through all that shit and ignored all of it and just went right away for the kill. Like damn, like y'all just don't care, I guess. And that's another thing about these type of jobs where they just kind of hire anybody without any interview, because you never know what type of person you're going to get, and it can be a little scary because most of the people at my place are pretty chill, but like there are some obviously that are mentally unstable and they just don't fucking check for that. They just check for like a drug test. And obviously there's some people who somehow bypass the drug test and they're like meth heads or crack kids or just weird ass people in general, because I'll never forget there's this one guy that was like fucking walking around during peak season with a pallet jack, and he was literally like screaming beep like a car horn, just fucking around with everybody. It was really annoying because I was working early shift when this happened at the old warehouse, but man, it was low-key kind of funny looking back. But that just kind of show how much they just need help or they just don't care. HR isn't very helpful or don't care when it comes to a lot of things, but the only thing they do kind of care about a little bit is if it's some type of harassment, like especially if there's evidence. If you can get evidence, dude, yeah, they'll actually do something. But that's because, you know, they're following the company guidelines and policy. But usually with other people's issues and problems within their personal life and shit, yeah, they don't seem to care as much. Unfortunately, I've been through this walk in the park before with people on like where I had a coworker try to hit on me like 9 years ago when I was 18 at the grocery store. So it kind of reflects back to that, but obviously I've kind of like matured a lot since then, so I know exactly how to handle this type of shit. And unfortunately, I have been desensitized to a lot of this type of harassment crap, because there's some people that for some reason that are gay that are always like trying to get on to me for some reason. I don't know why they think I'm attractive, but they just think I do. I am. I don't know. It just happens, I guess. But usually it's never this creepy. It's usually very tame and they just kind of back off. What kind of boggles my mind too is like this dude is literally just 18 years old. Like, how the fuck did you like get that way at such a young age? Like the fact that he's only just 18 kind of scares me, because it makes you wonder how he was raised, what he did in his childhood, and like what things did he learn when he was growing up that make him think that this type of shit was okay. Because unfortunately, this isn't the first time around I've heard coworkers do something like this. Like, I remember one of my roommates was telling me about like how he was working at Price Chopper or something like that, some grocery store. And then, like, he got offered the same thing in the bathroom, you know? And that was, like, obviously weird as hell, too. And the weird part is, a lot of people like this will just, like, word this type of shit like it's an ordinary Monday or Tuesday. It's like they're almost like a sociopath or something, or they're just very selfish to the point where they just want to benefit everything from everyone and just don't care about how anyone else feels. The good news is, I did get a call back from my job about it, and the case on my app is actually closed, I noticed. So I think they have finally resolved the situation. And I'm going to call them back and see if they got this dude fired. But it sounds like there's a good possibility that it has, in fact, happened. And that kind of makes me feel better, because I usually don't want to try to get people fired. I'm not that type of person to report shit. But, like, if people are definitely crossing the line, yeah, fuck that. I don't care. It just really depends on what happens in the situation. Anyways, everybody, thank you all so much for hearing me out. This is kind of a shorter video because I'm not exactly sure what else I want to talk about involving this topic, but I want to say is do not put up with type of toxic shit at work like that. If someone is mistreating you at work or making you fucking weirded out, yeah, just do something about it and then go about your day. Because at the end of the day, bro, no one gives a fuck. We all want our money. We don't have time for all the other BS. I'm the type of dude, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are, where I just want to go in, get my money, get out. Talk to a few people, be friendly to them, but other than that, that's it. Like, don't worry about anything else. Especially when there's like weird drama at the workplace. Like, personally for me, I just can't stand that type of crap. It is interesting and entertaining to hear sometimes, but when people try to drag their shit with you into it, that's where it becomes not fun. I hope you guys are doing great, and please, if you can, be safe, because you just never know. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all in the next video.